Welcome to the Balanced Leader podcast, where we tackle the ultimate challenge for leaders, achieving peak performance without sacrificing your well-being. If you're ready to lead with clarity, energy, and impact without burning out, then you're in the right place. I'm Rob Hills, your leadership and wellbeing coach, and in each episode, I'll give you the insights, tools, and strategies that will enable you to thrive. So without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're talking about a deceptively simple but incredibly powerful idea. Check in before they check out. And no, I'm not just talking about people handing in their resignations. I'm also talking about when people mentally check out. They might disengage or even quiet quit. The warning signs can be subtle, but if we're paying attention, we can spot them early and we can turn things around. Let's start with where we are right now. According to Gallup's 2023 State of the Global Workplace report, only 23% of employees globally are engaged at work. That means more than 3/4 of people are just going through the motions, or worse, they are actively checked out. That's a massive opportunity for leaders because the single most powerful driver of engagement, it's not about the perks, it's not about the performance bonuses or the free lunches. It's you, the leader. Your interest, your time, your presence. And I've seen this throughout my entire career. The best leaders are the ones who genuinely care about their team. Now, I get it. We are all busy. You've got meetings, you've got reports, you've got emails, maybe even an overflowing inbox with all the things are marked urgent. But checking in with your team doesn't need to be another thing that drains your day. It can be as little as a 30-minute coffee chat. It could be a walk around the block. It can even be a quick Zoom with no agenda. But you know what? These moments actually matter more than most of the stuff on your ever-growing to-do list. There's a quote I keep coming back to around this topic, and you've probably heard it before. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, which is Theodore Roosevelt. It's one of those truths that never goes out of date. You might be the smartest person in the room, you might have the best strategy, the clearest plan, but if your people don't feel like you genuinely care about them, they won't truly follow you. And the reverse is also true. If they know you do care, they'll often go that extra mile, not because they have to, but because they want to. Let's talk about what a good check-in actually looks like. It can be a discussion about projects or performance. It can include as much work talk as you need, but you have to set aside a large chunk of time to genuinely connect with a person and find out how they're traveling. One thing I find incredibly useful at the end of the check-in is I actually ask the person to rate their well-being on a scale of 1 to 10. No pressure, no judgment, just where are you at today? And here's the thing, most people will probably say somewhere around a 7 or an 8. It's kind of the safe middle ground. Not too low, not too high. But over time, that number becomes a baseline. So if suddenly someone says to you, you know what, today I'm a 5, or if you notice that it's creeping down over time, like a downward trend, you've got a gentle opening and a baseline of understanding to actually ask more questions. And you've already built the trust over time so that you're able to do that more easily. It's not scientific, but it is powerful. And most importantly, it shows your team that you're paying attention, not just to their output, but to them as a person. Let me give you a real-world example of this. When Satya Nadella became CEO of Microsoft back in 2014, he inherited a culture that probably wasn't that great. The culture was often described as competitive and very hierarchical. But he brought a different approach, one that was rooted in empathy. He actually encouraged his leaders and his team to listen more, to understand their people, and to prioritize psychological safety above all things. Under his leadership, Microsoft culture shifted dramatically. Employee engagement went up, innovation improved, and the company became one of the most valuable in the world. All because a leader made it a priority to listen, to check in, and to actually care about their people. The best way I can summarize this is to think about your team as a garden. If you only check in on your plants when they're drooping or turning brown, it's already too late. The damage has been done. But if you can regularly check in, feel the soil, pull out the weeds, give them just a little bit of water, make sure they're in the sunshine, they will thrive. It's not about you being perfect. It's about being present. Remember, leadership isn't a one-time fix. It's about ongoing care. It's about ongoing maintenance of your people. So here's your challenge this week. I want you to book in a one-on-one with at least one of your team members. You don't have to have an agenda going in, but maybe just set aside 30 minutes, particularly if you're just starting in this sort of space. Start with the question, how's your week going? Or what's been happening with you lately? Or even like, how was your weekend? Or did your footy team win? Whatever it is, if you know the person already, find your in and start with that. Let it go where the conversation's going to go. And if you want to try it at the end, tell them about the wellbeing rating system and ask them for that score between 1 and 10 and see what happens. Most times people will be a little bit wary at first, I'm not going to lie, but over time it becomes a habit. I used to have a team member that if I got to the end of our meeting, our one-on-one, and I hadn't asked the question, she would prompt me or just tell me what her score was. Because when we check in consistently, when we show up, listen and care, we build cultures where people actually want to show up together. And that's the kind of team that gets results. That's the kind of team that is high performing without the burnout. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do hope you found this useful. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time on the Balanced Leader Podcast.